Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of my wedding planning series. Today I am excited to be here with William Adei of Team 1000 Words, one of my favorite team of photographers in Ghana. Today we are talking about how to get the best out of your wedding photos.
Now, if you want to be able to look back at your wedding photos in 10 years, 20 years, and still relive your experiences, stay tuned to the end of this video. So the first thing that we want to go through is you need to select a wedding photographer who has experience in the kind of wedding that you want to be able to do. Now, sometimes we know the pressure to save money or to choose a friend or a family member to do your pictures is always there. But you really have to think about what is best for you. Select a professional photographer who has the right experience. Next thing you'd want to do is that you would want to be able to meet with the photographer before your wedding, if possible. Phone calls, Skype calls are great, but if you're able to meet with the person, you'll be able to kind of have the rapport, which will be really great to have on your wedding. After all, photographers are humans too. So the more you interact with them before your wedding, the better the interaction will be on the wedding day.
Point number 3, trust your photographer.
It is essential to trust your photographer. They have been doing this work for a couple years, most likely, and they know how to get the best pictures in the best circumstances. So don't worry about, oh, let me see what's on the back of the camera. Oh, am I looking okay here? Oh, am I fine? No, just trust your photographer and enjoy yourself on your day.
I feel the shade. I feel it. The 4th point is try to relax. Try to relax, ignore the cameras, and just be yourself.
Yeah, relaxing is not only limited to just being in front of the camera, but for everything that happens on the day. I know brides and grooms who are on the phone from the beginning to the end. Oh, is my decor ready? Oh, has this person brought the cake? Oh, what's going on? Oh, what's going on? And everybody who is coming to the wedding is calling the bride or the groom, and it kind of puts you out of whack. You need to be able to delegate your phone and your communication to somebody else and relax on your wedding day. And just remember that it's all about you and the love you have with your spouse. So you better make it count.
Yeah. Sidebar, perhaps you should just hire a wedding planner.
Number 5 is time. Now, time is a very important factor on getting great photos on your wedding day. You don't need to be rushing through your program like the whole world is chasing you. One of the things you need to do is make sure that you have enough time in the morning, or if it's in the afternoon, to get your dress up done, get your makeup done, for the groom to dress up. And especially if you have a larger bridal party, you're going to want to have a lot more time in the getting ready phase than if it was just the couple together without any best man or bridal party. Another thing about time is you need to have time to take pictures. One of the mistakes I often see in many weddings is that the reception starts right after the wedding, which essentially means that there is no real time to take pictures. And then you always get the MC or a family member calling and saying, oh, the old people are sitting down and waiting, and everybody is waiting, people haven't eaten, and everybody gets stressed, and you literally get no time to take pictures. So you really need to consider time. Make sure that you space your wedding out in such a way that you do have the time to take pictures. And not only to take pictures, you have the time to relax, as we said in one of the earlier points. The last thing about time is to be able to communicate the correct timelines to your photographer on your wedding day. Now, for example, if you're going to start dressing up at 10 and you tell the photographer to come at 7 a.m. because you don't want them to be late, and you know how all this Ghana time thing works, and they actually get there at 7 in the morning, they're going to be sitting down 3 hours doing nothing, and they'll be getting tired, and they may be getting a little frustrated because you lied to them. So let's try and communicate well. And the communication when it comes to time should cover the entire wedding. So what time does the church service actually start? What time are you going to start the reception? What time is it supposed to end? So that everybody knows what's happening. And if you're going to be working with a good planner, you can allow the planner to handle that information. And they usually send the timetables out to everybody so that everybody can understand everything perfectly. So that's a +1 for the planners.
I absolutely agree. And in some of my subsequent videos, I will be sharing some of the guidelines for planning your timeline for your wedding day to ensure that you have enough time for all of the amazing photos that you want to capture.
Point number 6 is smile, smile, smile. Now, I'm not saying that you should go through your entire day looking like this, with a smile glued on your face in perpetuity, and then your face will be cramped at the end of the day. No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that when your eyes meet the eyes of the photographer, feel free to smile. Those things will all be captured and it will make your pictures look awesome at the end of the day. I think that those smiles will really help you to enjoy your day even more, because you have that emotional connection to your smiles. And you never know, your pictures will turn out awesome.
Point number 7, be nice to your photographer. Like we said at the beginning, photographers are human too.
And you know, when you're nice with your photographer and you have that friendship brewing, the photographer is going to try and go the extra mile for you. When things are getting hard, they'll be there, they'll be smiling with you, and it will be really cool for the whole day. So even though sometimes you don't think about that as contributing to the photos, it actually does. We're going to move into something slightly more technical, and it's about selecting the location for your wedding. Now, you don't have to go to the most expensive places in the world to have good-looking wedding photos. One of the things that we find helps wedding photos no end is space. Now, when you're dressing up in the morning, some people like to dress up in their homes, and that's perfectly fine. But just make sure that you have a large enough room, and if there's clutter around, just move that out on the wedding day so that we can be able to move around, get pictures from different angles. And because a lot of people are going to be in the room that day, hair, makeup, if it's a stylist for the groom, the planner, so many people are going to be around. And so when you don't have enough space, it kind of makes everything cramped. So space is very important. Sometimes getting ready in the hotel is helpful because you also have the environment of the hotel to take pictures in the morning. So just consider space and location. For your church itself, there's not too much you can do. You can just hope for the best. Or if you're having a garden wedding, that helps as well. But whichever location it is, from your dress up to your church to the reception for the exclusives, space is really helpful. Another thing that is helpful is light. Having a room or an environment or a venue with a lot of ambient light is really good. So think of large windows and so on, that just lets the light through. Sometimes you can have rooms where the windows are small or the curtains are closed, and it kind of reduces the amount of light in the room, and it kind of makes the pictures worse. So the more light, the better. So point number 9 is to be careful of the additional photographers on your day. Now, what happens when we're shooting oftentimes is that you get members of the crowds whipping out their phones, trying to come to the front and take pictures. You have about 30 different people with cameras coming to take pictures and so on. Really, what happens is that you will never get those pictures and we will be blocked from trying to do our job. So the best thing to do is try and get the MC to announce that people should stay in their seats or rather move to the sides to take pictures and let the official photographer do his work. Because at the end of the day, it is the official photographer who is going to be giving you your pictures. Oftentimes, everybody else will not. They'll put the pictures in their WhatsApp groups, they'll put it on their Facebook pages, but you're not going to get them. And you want to make sure that you get the best pictures on your day.
And they may not even be the most flattering photos of you that is being shared around anyway. So you might as well let the professionals do their work. The final point, and one of the most important points, is make sure that you make provision for food, drinks, and water for all of your vendors, including your photographers. They're going to be working really hard all day to get you amazing photos. So take care of them.
And one of the interesting things that people forget about feeding when it comes to their vendors and the photographers especially is that the entire event is going to be captured by the photographer. And so sometimes what happens is that if all the guests eat first, and it is after all the guests eat that the photographer has the time to eat, what usually happens is that by the time all the guests are finished eating, your next activities begin. And so if the photographer, also the videographer, same thing, they eat after, then you may end up losing out on some of the moments that you would have wanted captured. So this brings us to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we hope that you get the best pictures on your wedding day.
If you have any additional comments to make, please leave it in the comment section below. And if you're yet to subscribe, hit the subscribe button and let's stay connected. I'll be back same time next week. Bye-bye.